Angie from creationisfinished.com, and I'm here today to talk about how I got my SP fast. I was asked a lot about this last night, and I thought it would be easier if I made a video about it instead of sending messages to multiples. And now, this is how I did it. Doesn't mean you have to do this. I kind of took it to the extreme a little bit, but this is how I got mine in 2 weeks. So what had happened was, at the beginning of 2020, I was involved with somebody else, and we ended up breaking up. And this is kind of when I was really starting to get involved with law of assumption. And I started to work on manifesting him, and not the SP that I'm with now. The SP I'm with now, I've said this in a other video, he is my ex-husband, and we got divorced in 2013. Don't know why. We both don't even know why. We got back together in 2014. We ended up breaking up again in 2018, and we never got back together. So we were separated for 2 years, and I went on dating 2 other people. He ended up dating one, the third party, which I will get to. But anyway, so back to 2020 and the other guy. So I started trying to manifest him. In the meantime, I was playing with it a little bit, and I manifested money. But him, it was taking me a while. I started watching Joseph Ally, and then I moved over to Amanda at Create Your Future, and I started doing her techniques. And then while I was starting to get really serious, and I found Sammy Ingram. So I just started affirming him, but I wasn't doing it like all the time, and I wasn't living as the wish was fulfilled. So it was taking longer. And right when I was kind of in the middle of manifesting him, I started hanging out with my SP, who I'm with now, a little more. Now, this whole year and a lot of last year, me and my SP weren't really talking. I mean, we always had communication because we have 3 kids together, but they're grown, but we weren't like hanging out or anything. But I started to realize, gosh, I still love him. So back in May of 2020, I kind of started telling him, even though I was affirming the other one, not a lot though, I said, why don't we give this a try again? He said, absolutely not. I am dating someone. I don't feel that way about you. You can just get that out of your mind. And I was devastated because the old feelings were coming back. So I would cry, and he wasn't the person that I knew. He just didn't care. He didn't care about me at all. He said, I hope that one day we can be really good friends, and we can go out to dinner with our significant others and get along. Okay, that didn't sit well with me, and I didn't take it very well. So I was devastated. So then we're getting into July of 2020. I didn't want to affirm the other person anymore. My SP now and we went out to dinner to talk about our son. Our middle son was graduating high school, and we were planning a graduation party for him. So we had to talk about things. And that night I said, "Are you sure you don't want to give this a chance?" I was practically begging him. And he said, absolutely not. I really like this person. She really likes me, and I'm just done. Our relationship is in the past. We're done. We're done. It's never going to be. He said he didn't desire me like that anymore. He loved me, but he wasn't in love with me. And for me to move on. Okay. So I came home and I cried. And I just let it all out. I cried. I probably cried the hardest I ever have in my entire life. So, I had decided I was going to do coaching with Sammy. But there, if you follow her, there was a wait list. So I got on the wait list, and I didn't know how long it was going to be. But instead of sitting there and feeling sorry for myself, I said, I've got one shot left at this. This is the only thing I have. Hi, Henry. This is the only thing I have left, and I'm instead of waiting for coaching, and I was on the wait list. I said I've got to start doing it now. So, okay, go. So, I took 2 affirmations that came into my head. Now, I didn't say the constantly texting me. I was already in contact with him, even though barely. We were still in contact. So I affirmed, he is madly in love with me, and I am his one and only. I think those were the 2. So what I did, and at the same time as I was reading Neville, really getting into Neville Goddard. Even though I say I'm not a Neville channel, I do believe in a lot what he says, and I do talk about a lot. I think he's just an amazing, amazing man. So I started affirming. I didn't just affirm him when I thought about him. I affirmed from the minute I got up till I went to bed. Now, mind you, I didn't do this like all constantly all day. I mean, I took breaks. I would go watch TV, and I would give my mind a break. But since we have about 60,000 thoughts a day, and I knew I wanted him back, and I wanted to be back together with him I put myself on a time period in a few weeks because I wanted to be back together by the graduation party. I just affirmed over and over, all day. That was all I thought about. And when I started it, yes, did bad thoughts pop into my head? Of course. I never did this strictly all day. So when the bad thoughts would come into my mind, I turned it around and I just said no, and then I went back to my affirmations. And I did this. This was the process, and it took probably about 3 to 4 days for them to not be consistent. They were starting to go away, and I started seeing movement with him. He wanted to hang out with me more. He called me and said, "Do you want to go to the grocery store with me? Do you want to go out to dinner?" And he texted me a little bit more. He'd make excuses, but then they were getting. Oh, I forgot to say this too. One of my friends in my real life, she knew what I was doing, and I told her I had to put myself in a bubble, which meant she cannot ask me about my SP. We do not talk to him. We don't mention him. Because if I had mentioned him and talked about him, about what was going on now, I was reaffirming the 3D world and all of the stuff in the past. And I knew damn well I couldn't do that. So I said, I'm living in a bubble. We're not talking about this. Some other people who I talked to online wanted to know what was going on. I was like, no, can't talk about this. Don't mention him, because I was in my own little bubble. I wasn't part of the 3D. I was not that part of my life in the 3D. It was gone. I had created in my mind a new version of him, who I wanted, and who I wanted to conform. Okay, so I'm getting lots of movement, and then for some reason, right before I started coaching, it started getting very, kind of, I don't have to say it. Which, he hadn't been like that with me in 2 years. 2 years! Hadn't been like that with me at all. Now, mind you, I have no idea where the third party is. I don't know anything. So then Sammy got a hold of me. My cat is chewing on my cord. I am moving into an office here, hopefully next week, so I won't have to do this in my kitchen anymore. So I started my coaching, and she gave me 2 more affirmations. And since, you know, I paid for them, I'm not going to say what they are, but so I started doing hers, but I already made movement with what I was doing, but I went with hers. So this was on probably a Monday or Tuesday. Okay, so come Friday, this is the following week, he ghosted me. He ghosted me the whole weekend. I don't know what he was doing. He was not answering his texts. If they were just one-liners. He was ghosting me. So the bad feelings I was feeling before, they came back. But instead of thinking bad thoughts, because I had known what Seema calls as the purge, this is the purge. It had to be, because he was being so loving and flirty. So what I did while he was ghosting me, and this lasted about, okay, this was Friday, then we had Saturday, Sunday, Monday night, he started texting me again. I affirmed through it, and I cried, and I threw things, but I did not, in my mind, tell myself that, I didn't go on his social media, I didn't do anything. I still lived in my bubble. I kept affirming, and I cried the whole weekend. I'm not gonna lie. I cried. But I didn't think it was over, because I knew once I got past this part, it was done. So okay, so we've gotten to Monday night now. Started texting me again, like nothing happened. I didn't ask him. And then he wanted to see me more. So, okay, so then we get to Tuesday. I think we went out to dinner again. The graduation party was that coming Saturday. So Thursday, it had to have been Thursday. And he brought it up. And he went, you know, Ange, we can give this a try. He goes, let's just take it slow and see where this can go. He goes, I do love you. I'm in love with you. And my heart, I remember it vividly. I could not believe what I was hearing, because I had heard for 2 years, I've moved on. You need to move on. I don't love you. 2 weeks before that, I don't love you like that. I love you as a friend. I'm not attracted to you. Okay, so we're back together, but we're not telling anybody. Now people pretty much know, but we weren't telling anybody, because this is now the 3rd time we're getting back together. But, you know, him taking it slow, that lasted probably a week. He was all, we're going here, we're going there, we're going out to dinner, you want to come, you want to stay over. And he didn't take it slow. I thought we were taking it slow, but he didn't want to. So now we come to today. So this happened, manifestation happened around August 10th, around in there. And we're now in October, and now we're planning to go away together in about a month. So what I did was, I affirm constantly. I know some people say you don't have to, and you don't have to. You can affirm whenever you think about him, but I was thinking about him all the time. I was like, that's my man, that's my life, and nobody's going to have him. I affirm all day, when I could, which was pretty much all day. 2 affirmations. Now, I didn't go from like one to the other. do some on one, do some on the other. That's what I did. I lived in a bubble where I did not discuss him. I didn't look at his social media. I didn't go looking at third-party social media. And the third party's gone. I didn't ask him what happened to her. Well, now I have, but I didn't then. But she's gone. He doesn't talk to her. He said, I finally did did ask him what happened. He said, there was nothing there. Okay, nothing there. That's not what you were telling me, and you had been dating her since February, and the last time you went out with her was in July. So, he just said that he has feelings for me, and he loves me more than ever, but anyway, I'm babbling, which if you watch my videos, I do babble a lot. So, I affirmed all day, constantly, 2 affirmations. You can do 1, you can do 2. I just picked those 2 and I stuck with them because I think if you have too many affirmations for one thing, your subconscious mind is going to be everywhere. So, affirmations, I lived in a bubble. I told people I did not want to talk about him. I was not going to relive the 3D. I didn't live in that reality anymore, and I was living in 4D reality. I was in a relationship with him reality. So, in my mental diet, and that's basically all I did. And I think now this is me talking. I mean, there's other people out there that says you don't have to do that, and it's whatever works for you. But I was affirming all day, constantly, except when I watched TV. Otherwise, I was affirming. Affirm, affirm, affirm. Till it was an assumption. And as soon as it turned into the dominant assumption, everything just turned around and it was his idea. So, I did not mean to make this into a long video, but I did. And I apologize for that, and I apologize for sometimes going into a tangent. So, that's how I did it. And now, maybe I'll make a video on this later, but I don't have any trouble when it comes to manifesting, dealing with people. I just don't anymore. I think people are easy because I have the assumption that I can do it. I did the impossible with him. So when I deal with people, I can just do it. So, but I'll make that for another video. So to answer your question, that is what I did. Affirm, bubble, live as it's in the wish fulfilled. Those 3 things. That's all I did. Oh, and mental diet. So far. You really got to have a good mental diet. You got to keep on top of that mental diet. That is probably the #1 priority. So, anyway, if you have any questions, you can comment below and I will answer them. I will put up, I just started a Twitter, so you can find me on Twitter now, or not Twitter, Instagram. I apologize. Instagram. You can find me on Instagram. I will put that up there. I have a really great Facebook group. We're just a small group right now, but I will put the link up for that. And this will probably be the last video for this week. I will have 3 more next week, and they're going to be good ones. So if you haven't subscribed and push the bell sign, please do so, because like I said, next week's videos are going to be great. So, alrighty, this is Angie from Creation is Finished, and go out there and create something wonderful today. Bye-bye.